Yeah, so he's probably on the money, and it probably took me 4 or 5 years at AFL level to realise that what it takes to be an AFL player, and that's something I wanted to do, and I wanted to stay involved in the game and be the best AFL player I could be. So,
how did Bucks cope with you in the early days at Collingwood, given that you, as you just admitted, you had a bit of an attitude problem, didn't train hard, and we know how fanatical he was, and he wasn't all that, I suppose, complimentary to teammates that weren't having a crack. Did you ever cross words with him in the early days?
He just ignored me, I think, mate. So, yeah, no, I didn't have much to do with him in my early part, mate. We all know how manic he is at his football, and he just wants the best out of himself and for his team, and I probably wasn't giving that back then, so he just didn't have much to do with me.
Dane, are you confident that the Magpie coaching contract, Mick to give it away at the end of this year, Nathan Buckley to take over, are you confident that that will go through as planned?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Everyone keeps saying it's going to happen, so I'm sure Bucks won't be putting his hand up to not coach next year, so yeah, it'll be happening, and looking forward to it.
Speaking about the game plan, the new show on 1 on Thursday nights with Matthew Lloyd, Scotty Cummings and Anthony Hudson. Mick was pretty interesting in his comments. He spoke about Collingwood's game plan, which was criticised in the media. You go too wide, you go along the boundary line, and the boys asked him what he thought about Nathan Buckley's influence in the game plan, and this is what he said last Thursday night.
What did he actually contribute, as much as you can tell us, to last year's flag? And did he play a significant role in the slight changes you made to your game plan, for instance?
Oh, the game plan was established 2 or 3 years ago. Nathan wasn't part of that. In fact, if I was brutal about it, I think he, along with plenty of others, thought that we had a bad game plan. I was constantly reminded from others in the media, and Nathan included, that we hugged the boundary too far, and there's opportunities through the corridor. I think the underlying thing was, I'd say if you spoke to Nathan now, he'd understand totally my principle on the way it was. You can't develop a game plan in 1 year and expect it to be overly successful. You can make inroads. We didn't win a premiership in 1 year. We won a premiership over 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so do you think that'll change next year, given Bucks will take over and revert back to a different style?
Well, I have absolutely no idea. It seems to be working for us at the moment, so I can't see Nathan changing it too much. But even from last year to this year, we've tinkered with the game plan a bit, because if you stay doing the same thing, the side's going to go past you. I think you showed the Essendon graphic before, sides will just go past you. So we've sort of remodeled it a little bit and worked on a few things. Now, whether Bucks next year wants to do something completely different or just alter the game plan we've had this year is yet to be seen.
Are you familiar with a man called Lucky Diamond Rich?
Yeah, he tattooed me.
Yeah, just had a couple of shots of Lucky. Where's he from? Is he an Aussie? Or
he's from Brisbane.
He's from Brisbane? How did you meet him?
Me and my sister wanted to get our family motto tattooed on us, so
which is constant and faithful?
Yeah. Yep. So we went there, and he happened to be doing a guest spot in a tattoo sort of studio, and thought, why not? He's a sort of a different individual. He's a really nice guy, and I suppose you can look at him and make your own opinion just from looking at him. But once you sit down and talk to him, he's obviously just like anyone else. He's 100% tattooed, so that's his thing. He travels around the world and guest spots tattoos and does a lot of the freak shows and stuff like that. So,
what did Mum Deidre and Dad Billy say when you came home with a bit of ink?
Dad has yet to talk about him to me. So it's been about 5 years. He's never mentioned it.
He's never mentioned it once?
Never mentioned them once. And Mum complains a bit, just says no more, but every now and then kept popping up.
To go the full Lucky, get the head done and get the whole body?
Mum would disown me, I think, if I went that
far. Some dodgy reactions on the weekend, Rob, from some goals. We know you don't like outgoing celebrations. Ricky Henderson's T signal.
Yeah, well, this is late in the game, and the pressure's on, and he's given us the T signal. Do we believe that's for the Today Show?
Yes, on the Fantastic Nine network with Lisa Wilkinson and Carl Stefanovic.
But is he on a sling?
Oh, he must be. So that was that one. And
you would have been happy with that in your day, Wolves.
Yeah, he'd be delighted with that.
and Matt Thomas.
Well, Matt Thomas
giving Lee Brown the bird.
Well, have a look at this. He actually got a $900 fine from the AFL for that, for giving the bird. But, gee, Matt, after he did that, Collingwood kicked 10 goals 7 and Port Adelaide kicked 1 goal 2. So I think the laugh might be on you, young fellow. And this is all after Matthew Primus, their new coach, said that, the arrogance of Port Adelaide, we're going to, bring that down a little bit.
You did that with an article with Carolyn Wilson on the weekend?
Yeah, he wants the Power during the Primus year to be remembered not only as a professional club but a humble one. So they haven't started out on the right foot, have they?
What's Mick's opinion on the celebration, Swanee? He would be happy if you went to tea?
I'm not sure, mate. He's not too bad. We've got a few blokes in there like a celebration, like Dids, when he's shimmy and stuff like that, and sort of Leon and Brad Dick like celebrating a goal, but Harry obviously carries on a little bit when he kicks a goal from 50, but yeah, he's not too bad. He's not too bad.
A couple of bad injuries from the weekend, adding to the ones we've already seen. Rory Sloane from Adelaide, a broken thumb and a broken jaw, and Mark Lacroix. It seemed like an innocuous incident. Look, he might be out for the year with this torn groin. We haven't had it confirmed, but he's not looking good.
Looked like he was shot, and when you go down like that, Swanee, you'd know that just doesn't look good at all. And it's a really unusual thing to see a player rip his groin as badly as that.
Yeah, that's not a great sight for West Coast and for Mark. He's a wonderful player and he's their best forward. So for West Coast, who's trying to fight back a bit from what they did last year to lose their key forwards, it was a horrible start for them, and I wish him all the best.
Just a quick one, Dane. How important are the Arizona trips that you go to?
Yeah, well, I think they're very important. We sort of get it. It's good on two reasons. Obviously, the altitude is to get away, so you sort of get your fitness level up a bit quicker, and you can jam sort of more into those 2 weeks at high altitude because it's a bit obviously the oxygen up there is a lot thinner and it's a bit harder to breathe. And then it's just good to get away as a group. Like even just get out of Melbourne. Obviously, being at Collingwood. And it being in Melbourne, the fishbowl that we live in, sort of Collingwood in the papers most days, so it's good just to get away as a group, and it sort of would have helped Chris Tarrant and stuff and all the new kids to come back and get involved and sort of mingle with the whole group, so it sort of makes us gel a bit quicker, and we've done it, probably 5 years now, so I think we've played finals every year since we've gone, so something's going right.
Also in that West Coast Eagles game, a late free kick to Luke Shuey against Brady Rawlings. It was a telling moment in the game. What more could have Rawlings done? What do you think? I can see how the umpire gave it the free kick.
Well, have a look at Luke Shuey. He ducks and moves into Brady Rawlings. What can Brady Rawlings do? There's no doubt the umpires are worried about head injuries and particularly what happened earlier in the round. It's
unavoidable, Dave.
It's significant because Shuey goes back and kicks a goal in the dying minutes of the game. West Coast get over the line by less than a goal. That's how significant it is.
I think the rule's encouraging players to just lead with their head on the basis you're going to get a free kick, and the player who's defending really hasn't got many options.
Yeah, no doubt. If you're sort of running at a ground ball, you can pick it up before you actually stand upright. You can just sort of run that 3 or 4 yards with your head down and sort of headbutt someone in the stomach, and you can get a free kick for it. So I don't think that's what the rule was there for.
Effort. This is Matt Thomas, who had a pretty big afternoon against Dane Swan's team, and good hanger over the top with Harry O'Brien. About the only joy for the Pies. David Hill, Swanee, I reckon, is a mark of the round. You happy with that?
Yeah, no doubt, mate. Harry always seems to get hangers taken on him, though, so he seems to be always in that, but not the one taking the marks.
If you disagree with Luke Darcy, go to afl.com.au and, say what you think. Jack Revolt started with 6 goals. Robbie was fantastic on Thursday night.
He was. He's just got terrific judgment, and often he doesn't get off the ground. He just reads the flight of the ball, a little bit of body work, and he just does it over his opponents time and time again. Dane, do you watch a player from another team who's only been in the system a short while and marvel at him?
Yeah, no doubt. I sat there Thursday night, whenever they played, and sat down and watched him, and he's so energetic and such. You're sort of just drawn into watching him, and he's obviously a very super player, and he could quite easily kick 100 goals this year. That's how he started, and he's a terrific player, and he's very hard to stop.
He reminded you of someone, Morsey.
At the game 1, what a kick! What a kick for Bill Swan! What a hit! Bill Swan, how do you feel? Fantastic kick. Ian Rickman said you'd never kick that far in your life. Yeah, that'll be the furthest I've ever kicked the ball. Just can't believe it.
Ah, yes, Billy Swan, 1990 grand final. Williamstown defeated Springvale after trailing by 34 points in the last quarter. Billy Swan, a VFA legend, 302 games, 4 flags, 2 Liston trophies. How many times a week does he show you that?
Yeah, he tries to hide it now because he tells everyone he's kicked it from the wing. So if it gets further and further out every year, it goes on. But Dad's a pretty humble kind of guy.
Talk us through the kick.
It was a pretty ordinary kick, it looked like, but just went straight and went through, and like Dad says, probably the furthest he's ever kicked the ball in his life, and not a bad time to do it.
So that was kicked after the siren?
It was about 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, about 20 odd seconds to go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
you want to give a plug to a young demon, Luke Tapscott, who had a ripping game against the Swannies.
Saw him play yesterday on debut for the Demons, and have a look at the courage of this young fella, number 35. He was at Melbourne last year, didn't play a senior game. He had a hip injury. He's from North Adelaide, 19 years of age, and for a bloke playing his first game of league football, he looked as if he absolutely belonged out there. Courage, spoiling, pretty good kick. And I reckon the Demons have got a beauty here. Have a look at that. Pick
18 he was in the 2009 draft, and you're right, he just, Swanee, you can see a young player looks capable in his first game. There's one right away.
Yeah, no doubt. Melbourne have obviously recruited very well the last couple of years, and they've obviously found another one in young Luke Tapscott.
Hard questions, Rob. Should the Tigers still have the honour of playing in the opening game of the season?
Yes, I think traditional rivals, they deserve that.
Does St Kilda have the forward line to win the flag?
Not at the moment.
Does Carlton have the back line to win the flag?
Not at the moment.
Should Jared Waite be playing next week, or should he be suspended?
Should be suspended. And make sure that he gets a pay penalty as well.
Should Mark Webber have done better than 5th in the Australian Grand Prix?
Well, his car was evidently as good as Vettel's. That's what the experts tell me. So he started at position 3 and he finished...
Just a yes or no would be suffice. Yes or no?
He should have done better.
Okay. Yeah. Your hero of the week?
My hero of the week is James Hird, because he's everyone else's hero. So I'm going to jump on the bandwagon, Luke. Otherwise, those Essendon supporters will be at me
And
again.
your villain?
Villain is that young Ricky Henderson, the kid for the Crows, who gave us the T sign. We don't need that.
We don't need that. You pulled up a little bit sorer than usual. You'll be fine next week, though?
Yeah, no worries, mate. Just a bit of doms for first. Obviously, game for the year, and the intensity is a bit higher than what it is in the NAB Cup, so I'll be fine.
Nice to see him with a Brownlow this year too.
Would be absolutely deserved, an absolute star of the competition. Mike Sheen only had him 7th in his top 50, which is a disgrace. Much, much higher than that.
Well, I backed you for the Brownlow last year, Dane.
Sorry
and
about that, mate.
I hope you get it this year.
Thanks, mate.
Should better than number 7. What's Mike Sheen thinking?
Oh, well, he's not always right, Mike.
No. Thanks, mate. Good luck for season 2011. Thank you, Luke. Good to see you again.
Quarters.
Well done, living legend.
Thank you, Quarters.